had a friend was a big baseball player back in high school. He could throw that speedball fire, making love blue. All right. Good morning. It is 6:32. It is July 22nd. A new week. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Look at disclosure. We'll get to it. All right, everyone. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to the 630 Club. We go over what their narrative is, what we could be watching this week, where we can make some cash flow, how do we position ourselves for life, right? Long term, because long term the bull market does win, even though actively you have to be ready for some cute sequences that could take you by surprise. So that's why we get so prepared, so we don't get taken by surprise. Anyway, hopefully you had a good weekend. I did go see Luke Combs. But I'm a Bruce Springsteen fan. I wish if I went to Bruce, U2, Motley Crue, all these things, I would know every word. I was at Luke Combs, and it was fun just watching everyone else have a great time and say all the words. But anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs. Everyone's coming in. Let's go. We got Scotty Gids in the house from Red Bank. What up? We got Sully. Good morning. Yes, Chase is dunking. Hard work pays off. My son's been trying to dunk for about a year. His goal was by September, and I posted a video. July 20th is a monumental day. He finally dunked. He's been working. I actually listened to a video this morning saying, your circumstances today are a byproduct of how much work you put in 6 months, a year, 2 years ago. So if you want to be somewhere in the future, you better start working today. Anyway, what up, Patrick from North Carolina? We got Brooklyn in the house. Sheesh from Virginia Beach. We got Tony. What up, Tony? Tony's been with me for a while, so he knows Chase from when he was 7th and 8th grade, didn't grow an inch, so that's when he was working on his handles. And then the gods gave him some inches, and now he's 6 foot, believe it or not. I guess the mailman must be 6 foot. Anyway, what up, New Providence? What's up, Space Specialist? We got Jack in the house. All right, let's get to it. So yesterday, I was sitting at my friend's pool. It was a Sunday, beautiful Sunday. Cadence is doing her laps. I already went in the reservation and I did my run. I'm hanging out with my friends, and all of a sudden, President Biden won't go for re-election. And obviously the world starts clamoring, and I did a little tweet just showing the information. Listen, I try and be as respectful as possible because nobody really wants to hear my political views. I just try and be a little bit, in the middle. I don't get along with the far left. I don't get along with the far right. I tend to be in the middle and lean a little bit right. But anyway, it's just funny. I had to block about 15 people yesterday because all I always said is, let the guy retire with some dignity. Obviously, he cannot do this job for 4 more years. He couldn't probably do any job for 4 more years, let him be president. So let him spend some time with his, grandsons or kids or whatever he has. And everyone's like, when I'm like, oh, I just, whatever. Anyway, so what you did see, though, is, Bitcoin dropped about 1,500 points or $1,500 or whatever it is, or 2,000. And then as soon as he endorsed Kamala Harris, it rallied back because obviously, when you're trying to figure out relationships in the market of what's leaning what based on news, you have to watch this stuff. It doesn't mean you have an opinion. It doesn't mean you love Trump, or it doesn't mean you love this, or you love that. It just means relationships in the market happen for a while and then they change. So then, crypto bounced right back, and, at this point it's digesting, but it does seem like crypto, has higher prices. So anyway, if you take a quick look at the chart of the S&P, here we are. We've had a bit of a corrective phase, and believe it or not, everyone thinks Red Dog's a perma bull. It's not true. I actually went to my high watermark last week. I closed on the highs in my year. And look at this, with the SPYs down 3 days in a row. That means Red Dog was out of the way. When the semis put its short-term top in on June 20th, the Qs in tech about a week ago. So I figured the SPYs would play some downside catch-up, and we made money in puts. I sold some premium, and we were out of the way. So it was nice that, we kind of just switched a little bit. Like, I usually get caught a little bit in a move like that, and I come off my highs because, I don't react as fast enough. So you know what? Guess what? Red Dog and the Alpha team did a good enough job where, we're able to be out of the way. So today you come in, the SPYs are up 3. I am not fully long. I'm not like, oh my God, this is a great gap up. Okay, I'm pretty neutral. And now I got to figure out, does the strength hold, or not? So what do you do? This is 551.77. And, this really would be the bounce area. It's already above Thursday's low. 554 to 556 would probably be a spot that if this bounce does go more than the morning, that's probably where I would think it would get contained. I personally still think that at some point this summer, we're going to be seeing this 540, 542 area, but the oscillator, like last week, was a little easier. Last week, the oscillator was plus 80, so it was pretty easy to be short because you knew if it went up a little bit more, you could cost average, go higher, that it's hard to sustain. But now with the oscillator at neutral, market could bounce around a little bit. Plus, we have earnings coming out. We have Tesla Tuesday. You have Google this week. You have a few others. But anyway, so I would mark down 554 to 556. That would be a spot where if the market can see that this week, maybe you sell some premium. Maybe you go out a few weeks and buy some puts. Chances are, I still think this 565 is going to be the high until at some point, late August or even through October. But anyway, so that's that spot there. The Qs also, we did very well out of the way, made some money short. I am not short the Qs anymore. I'm not long the Qs either. This here, it would be one resistance. This is 481.70. Probably gets above that, pushes the envelope. So 481 to 486 would be a spot that the Qs could probably get to. Where are the Qs right now? Let's see. The Qs are, the Qs aren't even at, this, 481 area. Okay. Tech pulled in. We saw this happening over a week or so ago. A lot of the mega cap tech names broke the 8-day, whatever, either which way. So maybe that's the spot, just focusing. Last week I made a lot of money shorting. Yes. First, we made a lot of money long the IWM going into the CPI, 201 calls, rode it to 213, 214, and then the red dog reversal. A lot of people who missed this part of the move made a lot of money short. I made a lot of money short the IWM also. You could have anticipated. By the way, I know a lot of people who lost a lot of money short the IWM. They started here and they couldn't make it. Okay, and then I noticed some people said, hey, I'm not anticipating anything. I'm waiting for the red dog reversal, and that's what it did. It pushed you 224.86, went to 226.64. You could have shorted when it came back below, put your stop in, and boom, made for yourself almost 7, 8, 9 points. Anyway, at this point, I covered all of it, and I actually sold some puts on Friday thinking, hey, I sell the 214 puts, thinking, hey, if they want to give me the IWMs into the 213s, I'll take it. I think this could be a buyback here. The IWMs aren't up that much actually this morning. They're only up 60 cents. So at this point, money seems like early morning going more to a bounce in tech, which makes some sense because it came in the most, and you have some reports coming out this week. So anyway, a lot of people like, Red Dog, are you going to take Tesla into the report? Because everyone remembers down here, we took a big slug of calls, thinking if the earnings are bad, it probably doesn't matter. It's so oversold and battered and bruised. And if it's a little bit better than feared, who knows? Maybe we'll have a great trade and wind up giving you a great trade up to 200. But now this is a little different. Okay. Tesla already had a huge move, 191, 198, all the way up to 271. And then it broke this little wedge to the downside on Friday. So you still have this upper consolidation. So Tesla's going to need to be a little bit, stronger and solid for it to get above 271. And obviously the robotaxi, the guidance, I just got to do a little bit of homework. Last time I was like, I'm going, boom, pretty heavy into Tesla options. Right now, I am not sure. We'll wait till tomorrow. You go to the weekly chart here of Tesla and you'll see that Tesla has lagged. Okay. And this is where it was at 414, 371. This is where, it was, that's how battered it was into the last quarter. So it really didn't matter. And now, actually, let's just get this out of the way because this gets rid of some of the symmetry looking. So now you have this upper flag. The question is, will it be enough to get it to the 299, 312 area and clear 271? I'm going to do some work right now. I have nothing on. I've been day trading Tesla, and we had this was a great trade anticipating, and this was the technical one, and now it's trying to consolidate. So today is Monday. Give me a day or so, and we'll figure out whether or not we can go with it. I want to figure out today, does this early morning bounce hold and push or not? What's going to give me some clues? Nvidia, there's news of another chip. Yes, another chip to satisfy the restrictions on China. So we'll see, does Nvidia, that also, didn't look great coming into this weekend. They sold the strength again, barely holding on to the 50-day. So will Nvidia hold early gains? Okay, so right now Nvidia is at 120.50. So it's kind of no man's land. It's not into resistance at 122. It's in the middle of this range. So this will be something that you could focus on, because the semis came down before tech. So if the semis strength is sold today, chances are, we still have more downside to go. If they could hold it up and they want to push the envelope a little bit, kind of like they did here, you could then see maybe a move towards 127-ish and still have a lower high. 140, 136. This could wind up being a lower high. But we got to see what happens early morning. Right now, Nvidia is up 260. Again, the SMHs are bouncing back. So will this hold and be 122 or more, or all of a sudden, midday will Nvidia be red? That's where you should be having your attention on if you're trading, not the TV sets where they're going to be bantering back and forth about the odds of, Trump or Kamala or whatever it is. Washington, I thought someone said something really funny this weekend. So I respect those who serve the military. They serve, soldiers serve. Someone's like, you have to respect Pelosi for serving the country. I'm like, she's been in Congress or wherever the hell she's in for 20 years. You get paid $250,000 a year, and she's worth $100 million plus. Who served who? Congress served her because she got all the inside information way ahead of time and did great investments. I'm kidding, but I just thought it was funny that they're like, senators and congressmen, you have to respect them for serving the country. For some reason, it feels like we serve them. But anyway, but soldiers, policemen, firemen, they serve the public because they're making peanuts to help the greater good. But anyway, Nvidia is something. Okay, as far as, yes, I'm moving on. No more politics space. I'm in Bitcoin. I've been in this IBIT for actually, we had a really good trade. I bought it down here, and I am still in it. It's flattish. I do think that this could work its way back up towards the 41 to 42 area. It might not do it in a straight line. What's IBT doing this morning? Before I looked, it was down a little bit. It's up 4 cents. It might take a day or so to hang out. Again, this was a very big move for Bitcoin. I am in coin options. Coin, to me, is very hard to trade, so I like to go with options. It made me a lot of money on Friday. I started buying coin options in here, and I actually did buy the dip. And it does seem like it could take out this 256 to 263 area and work its way back towards this 283. If Bitcoin goes through 71,000 to the 80,000 area in the fall, coin will probably be well into the 300s. If you can't trade the action, or it's hard for you to trade, just go out and buy a big call spread. Okay, I do think it's going to work. And then I started to look at, I always look at, Mara and CLSK. So Mara didn't quite have the bounce that some wanted, but it already had a decent move. Okay, this was when everyone was playing the options, the 22 halves or 23s. Again, if you think Bitcoin is going to be 80,000 in the fall, chances are this is going to be well above 2730, back into that area. And then some people think this is cleaner. Okay, this is CLSK. You could, and then if that's going to be the case, you would think the CLSK is going to take out 2064 and 25 and go. Okay, it's been under accumulation for a while now, since February. So again, if Bitcoin is going to get above 71 to 73 and be in the 80,000 area in the fall, I'm saying if you think that, and I kind of think that, then these three names, you can go with some options. You shouldn't go with the BITO options. They do not correlate to Bitcoin. I tried doing that 3 months ago, and even every time Bitcoin rallied, I feel like it did nothing. But Bitcoin conference this upcoming Saturday. Okay, so that could be cool. That maybe we digest here and then it rallies towards the end of the week. It's good to know what's out there. Yes, teachers serve too, Tony. Teachers do pretty well though. If you hustle as a teacher, you can make a lot of money. You get health benefits, you get a 401k, you work 9 months. If you want to do tutoring, you can make extra cash. You want to work in a camp over the weekend. I think teachers are a great job. Anyway, my parents' friends, out of all my parents' friends that retired, the 2 teachers that were married, they retired the best. They had, huge 401ks because the teachers matched. They had a health care for life, and whatever. I'm just saying they might not have made huge amount of money during the course of their life, up or down in the private world, but they did pretty damn well. Anyway, so I do think CLSK, Mara, and Coin are the 3 Bitcoin-related stocks you can, focus on with Bitcoin if that's going to be the case. If you want me to take a look at Bitcoin itself, not just IBIT, and you can see the trading of the weekend, let's go to the watch list. Bitcoin right here. This is a huge channel, right? Huge. So at this point, you would think this is where it broke down from. So this would be some kind of resistance. So now you could probably draw this like this. It's probably going to need to hang out a little bit here above this. This was your lower level move right back into the channel. And now it's going to be approaching this big area again, which probably pauses, doesn't just run right through. But I would think this is now, basically lots of ETFs have accumulated Bitcoin during this after a big move to start the year. So you would think at some point it's going to get through this, and then there's nothing to the left. So anyway, I did try it here and lost money. I tried it here and lost money. So that's why trying it down there, I made that money back. And now hopefully, whenever it wants to decide to take this out, it takes it out. What about Riot? Riot's fine. Riot, it's lower quality than a Mara and a CLSK, but it does move. It's usually the last to move, but I would go up the food chain if you had to go up the food chain. Palantir, Hood, yeah, those are kind of, whenever crypto is strong, it feels like Robinhood because all the young ones are there and they love crypto. That's been acting pretty well. What's Robinhood doing? It's getting a little harder to to sustain a move higher, but it's all right. Now you could make this higher. I don't know if it's going to make a new high soon, but that acts well. This Palantir has been really good. It was trying to get above 30 while the S&P was coming in 2%. The Qs were coming in 3%. The small caps made its high. So if we get a real bounce day today that holds, you would think that that this can continue to the upside. So I get it. I already went over Tesla. Tesla, I'm not sure of what I want to do with earnings on Tuesday. It's going to need to be better than last time for it to go up. So if I do anything, last time I had straight calls, I might do a call spread, or I might just wait to see after. I did not play Netflix, and Netflix was a choppy mess. Like, look at that candle from Netflix. I'm so happy I didn't waste 15, 20 grand playing Netflix as far as options are concerned. And now look at that loose wide action. So if that's going to be the indicative of the way things are going to react post earnings, you don't want to be in options. You just want to, trade the action thereafter and wait. But we'll see. Amazon was a pain in the ass. Excuse my French. It gave you a little red dog reversal. It was showing strength finally on Friday. So if you took it home long, congratulations. What I would do here is I would definitely trim some. It's up $1.40. Amazon, I kind of felt that it was going to happen. Like, we made a really big trade. We were buying the 191s, the 192s, this move. And then the whole world was hyper focused on it breaking above 201, but freaking Jeff was leaning on it. And I knew that. I'm like, the NASDAQ's going to run out of time and he's going to ruin the momentum. And then that's what happened. I definitely lost money in options, but I didn't lose money in the stocks. They get out pretty much there. So what could it do now? Amazon doesn't have earnings until August 1st, so it's not this week. If it wants to bounce back, somewhat, this is one spot, right? This was the high from Friday. This is what? This is 184.93. So this is one. So you put this like this. So if it gets above 184.93, all the moving averages are starting to curl down. That's where resistance will be prior. So if you're playing a bounce here in Amazon, chances are it's not going to get too much above this area which is closer to 188. Okay, but you have some room. And it did give you a reason to be back in the stock on Fridays. It did try and hold in there. I was long a lot of the day, Amazon on Friday. Do I still have some options on? No, I'm actually pretty clean there. But anyway, that's where it can go. Google's coming out. What'd you say about Josh Brown likes Pfizer? Tony? Okay, great. He also loved CrowdStrike and still loves it. And he also doubled down on Amazon up here and didn't say a word about it. But I am friends with him. So just don't buy something because someone on TV loves something. Who cares? Anyway, but we'll move on. You're better than that. Pfizer itself, yeah, had a nice move. Pfizer just got above the channel, gave you a nice move right here. We were 28, now holding up above here. Maybe it continues to the upside. You have Lilly, which was the leader under pressure. So the algos that sold Lilly up here, okay, potentially, came in and bought some Pfizer because they've had an inverse relationship. And now, this broke the 8-day, it broke the 21-day, and now I guess you'll see how it rebuilds. Lots of ways to play Lilly. You didn't have to be in for the juice. Literally, this was the first buy for the power plays, and then we were buying options in here, and then it got extended. 966 topping tail broke below that low. If you were active, that was your out. Okay, if you've been in Lilly for 2 years, you don't care. If you built a lot of wealth. If you're trading it actively, these two candles, as most other leaders, this has been trading with like Nvidia. It doesn't trade with the other, whatever company, whatever sector you want to say this is, the Ozempic sector. So you had some, just some clues to get out of the way. 836. Okay, that's the new low. It's going to take some time to rebuild. Same way Nvidia topped, and same way a lot of the leaders topped. This has been a leader of 2024. So that's just the way the computers are programmed now. It's crazy. You have to really recognize these relationships. So they broke Lilly and they bought Pfizer. And now I guess as long as Pfizer holds above here, maybe there's more action to the upside. And as far as, again, the IWM, here's the IWM. Great trade though. A lot of guys made a lot of money. Like we were buying calls into the CPI for $1. Okay, that some sold for 10 and 11, and then I was done with it here. This is where most people started to short it. I did not short it here. This was the day I started selling premium, which I gave everyone full disclosure on, the 222s to 225s, and then you had your red dog reversal, which is a great way to sell more, and boom. So now the question is, does 215.85 hold? I don't know. It's a little weaker this morning. I would say 212 to 215. If you sold into strength or missed this move, this area should hold. Anything under 212-ish, starts to get me a little worried that that it's not going to be so easy to buy, and it's not going to have such a rush to get back to highs. But anyway, I sold Crowd 303. I loved it more than Josh. Musk taking blowtorch to it on X, and also lost Dan Ives. Plus, anyway, all right. Yeah, well, CrowdStrike, Crowd, just like everything else, gave you a topping area. So at least I don't think many traders were caught in this thing, okay? Because, actually maybe they bought the 100-day. But anyway, this is when it broke the 8 and 21 days. So this was below all the moving averages before the outage. So not saying someone knew it was going to happen. I'm just saying as an active trader who trades for a living, you're only in things when they're trending above the 8 and 21 day. Below, anything can happen. And what's happening this morning there, somebody asked me. CRWD down another 11. This is going to be a battleground now. You don't need to be in this thing. Let it settle out. Kind of like Boeing. When Boeing comes out with news and it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you don't need to be in a battleground stock because it could close well and then all of a sudden another door could fly off Boeing or, another whatever. Anyway, somebody said, look at Boeing. Okay, I'll look at Boeing. Boeing's getting tight down here. Looked like there was a lot of news out on it. This has also been a battleground. What's Boeing doing this morning? Boeing is up $1.40. This has been a disaster. Okay. I do think Boeing will be fine. Boeing is one of those companies that will always be fine. But if you trade for a living, when it's above the 8-day and 21 day, look at this beautiful trend here in Boeing, and then it broke right there, and then it was an active sequence to the downside. Now it's kind of wedging. They're trying to come out with like a 20-year view now for Boeing, which is all you could take here because short term it's been a mess. Anyway, holy cow, it's 6:56. I've overstayed my welcome here. let's see what type of rally we have today. This S&P was down 2% off highs. I do not put my wife's blood in the street account to work. 2% off highs. It has to be at least 5%. That would be down here. You'll see, does 554 reject price, or does 556 if they want to keep this, rally on for a few days? Like right now, it's at 552. So you're above Thursday's low, but you're below Friday's high into this area. So we'll see what sticks today. If you're coming light today, who cares? Okay, it's a day in the life. If you went out on your highs of your year on Friday, congratulations. That means you saw the relative weakness in the Qs and the semis before they rolled over, and maybe the SPYs. And now just day trade a little bit until we get more clarity. Earnings season's coming. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. So don't sweat it. I'll see you guys a little later. Have a great day.